Hiya, in this video I'm going to be showing you how to remove the door cards on the 323 so I can remove the external door handles to repaint them, and then I'll also be removing the door mirrors so I can repaint the mirror caps as well. So I've got some basic hand tools to hopefully do the job. So I've got a Phillips screwdriver, 10mm spanner, a 1/4 inch ratchet with a 10mm socket, an extension bar and a universal joint. So let's have a look. So from memory, I think there's a screw here and there's probably poppers along the edge. So let's see if I'm going to need a flathead screwdriver to pop this cap off. I actually just used the open end of the spanner to open it, so not too bad, didn't damage the door card. So with this screw removed, and we'll lightly pull the bottom of the door card. It should pop off. Lifting away. There's a screw just in here. Be careful not to lose this one. This surround should now come off. Probably be a lot more free now. There's some screws. One's missing on this side, inside the pocket. Now off, and then it should just lift off the top. There we go. So then behind you got two plugs on this side. They'll just need disconnecting, and then the door card will come off completely. So it's easy to show you with it disconnected. This little button in the middle, you just need to push that in and then pull the plug out. Same again for this larger white one. It's the centerpiece, center button, push that in, and then the plug will slide out. So we need to remove this sheeting in the corner. Just be aware of this black sticky stuff. It is awful, very, very sticky, gets everywhere. So let's have a look. So by the looks of it, if I can get the camera in, maybe not. There's a 10mm nut there, and then just above the lock you can see another 10mm. So luckily there's a grommet here. Push that grommet out from the inside, hopefully. I can't do it with holding the camera, but push this grommet out, and you should be able to get your socket in through there. I remember doing this on a previous car, so yeah, this shouldn't be too bad. So with the grommet now removed, I had to use a flathead screwdriver. You can then use the 10mm on the extension and universal joint So this is on a slight angle, as you can see here. So once that's undone, it's then time to move on to the next one. So for the other side, you'll have to use a 10mm spanner, purely because there's not enough room to get a 1/4 inch ratchet in there. So yeah, just undo this and then it's almost ready to come out. Next up is to remove the connecting rod from the handle to the main door lock itself. These are held on by a little clip that you just need to push to one side to release. It's a little bit tricky doing it one-handed. So here's one externally that you can see. Just need to push it up with your thumb or a flat screwdriver, and then the rod will pull out from the clip. Next up is the main rod for the door handle. This will probably need to be removed once the handle has been taken out from the door, because access isn't really there. With the screws removed and one of the rods disconnected, you can see it's now wiggling. So it's easier to lift the handle up from the bottom, and then the top piece will then slide downwards. Make sure you don't hit the original paintwork, because you don't want to be scratching that. So the last rod is connected by this clip. Just need to use a flathead screwdriver to prise it open. At this point you need to grab a marker pen and just mark the threads, just so you know where it needs to go back once you reassemble. So that's the thread now marked. I can now remove it from the clip, and the handle should now completely pull away. And there we have it. Next up is the rear door card. So same again as the front, there's a tiny little screw behind the door handle cup, and then there should be some poppers around the edge. So let's go ahead and remove that screw. So the door cup will then pull off, and then gently lift the door card off from the door to release the poppers. There's a single connector for the electric window switch. Just need to push the center of the plug down and the plug will pull away. Next is to pull the sheeting away, and we've then got access to the door handle. So there's one 10mm nut on the left, and then the other will be behind this grommet. So with the grommet removed, can't get access because of the safety lock. So we're going to have to squeeze our hand up and above to gain access to that nut. With the two nuts removed, the handle is now loose. Same principle as the front, lift up from the bottom and lift out. Next is to remove the tension of the handle, just to make it easier to prep and paint. So on the back there's a spring, and you just need to disconnect that, and that'll then loosen the handle. There's also a gasket which also needs removing, just to avoid any overspray and to make a neat job. One note, don't worry if the door's closed, you can still gain access. So inside there's a horizontal lever that goes from the door latch to the door handle, and you just need to push that towards the front of the car, and then that'll open the handle, and then you'll be able to open the door as normal. This is the spring clip, so to release the tension you just need to push the end downwards and flick it to the side, and that should release. So I did remove the stud because the nut wasn't coming off, so I'll make sure I'll sort that out when it comes to reassembling. So for the gasket behind, I used a flathead screwdriver and gently prised it from underneath. And just got to be very careful because this will be very brittle. You don't want it snapping, and I'm sure that you won't be able to get a replacement separately from the main dealer. They'll probably want to sell you a whole handle assembly. So go around the handle, there's 3 or 4 of these little pins. Just gently prise it up, and then that should all release. And there's the gasket removed. So next is to remove the door lock barrel itself. So around the barrel is this locking ring, which at first I thought it was a circlip, but it's not. So you should just use a flathead screwdriver. In the end, it was easier to push the clip to the side or upwards, and it then released around the top part, and then you sort of work yourself around the clip to release it. It's harder to explain, but you'll understand when you do it. So the barrel then slides straight out, and then inside is a little trim grommet. At the very top is a little locating lug. You might be able to lift it out with a pick or a flathead screwdriver. So let's give that a go. Again, it's a bit tricky one-handed, and I think the screwdriver is a bit too big. Nope, that actually pops off if you push it through with your thumb. So it's quite a nice, easy way of doing it. So these were cleaned up along with the gaskets, and it will just make it all look a bit neater for the final product. With the paint now drying on the door handles, let's have a look at the door mirrors. So there's a cover here, so where the wiring is. I've got a trim tool. So it's on these clips. So this one here pushes into a hole, and then I'm guessing that would go on the pin. So that's that done. So there's 3 screws, and then the plug which follows down to this one here. So that would need to be unplugged, these 3 screws removed, and then the mirror should come off. So this top one and the side one come off fine. I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but this one is seized and the head is now pretty much destroyed. So So I'm now going to have to try and drill that out. Let's see if I can get it off. So I've got the mirror off. Had to drill through, so I'll re-tap that for a new bolt. So then I'll use a pry tool to prise this off. This is the reason why I wanted to paint it. Just a poor job. Shouldn't need to dismantle the mirror anymore. So yeah, I'll probably end up repainting this black bit as well. And if I have to take the glass out, then I can paint all inside as well. So yeah, I'll just put the camera down, do this, and see what it's like. Right, so I have had this apart, so I'll put it back together just to show you. So first of all, you want to start by prising off the mirror glass. So what I've done was pushed it to the one side, and you can use a trim tool or probably even just the pressure of your thumb to lift it up. So they're held on with these tabs, and these hook underneath here. There's a single plug, but annoyingly the button to push in to release it is on the opposite side, so it's a bit tricky. If you don't like spiders and creepy crawlies, then this job may not be one for you, so just bear that in mind, because there probably will be some evidence of previous life. So next is to remove the 3 screws at the bottom. You can see there's only one held on this. Again, that's just to show you guys and girls. So with that screw removed, it should move away. There's a screw just in the corner here which holds the front and rear covers on. Before you can remove this black surround, there's 3 screws, so one at the top, 2 on the sides. Once they're off, you should be able to prise it. So then, I don't know if you'll be able to see inside, but it's sort of clipped in together. So, I don't know if I'll be able to do this one-handed or not. So that's the front piece, and then the rear, you see this piece here clips to that bit of the front. So once that's released, you could then remove it, and there's your mirror cover. And then this is the remainings of the door mirror. You see the clip just on the top, which is rather annoying. Why they didn't put it on the front, I do not know. But so yeah, that's probably why they were painted on the car, because they couldn't be bothered to do this. So we're here now, so I'll get this prepped and painted, but before I do that, I'll do the other side. So I didn't realise how long this video actually has been, so I'm going to conclude it from here as a sort of guide on how to remove the door handles and door mirror. And I'll finish up this video in the second part with the painted parts and refitting.